Hey everyone, this is Chris.
As Mike.
And you're listening to / watching One Cross Radio. And today we are rejoined by the always vernacular Mike Naulls. Mike,
vernacular?
Vernacular.
Sure.
Mike, how you doing?
I'm alright. Alright, yeah, I'm good.
You guys missed it. Mike and I went to lunch and he was unintentionally wearing a very Quint from Jaws outfit.
Yeah.
Or
I look like a sailor.
You did. Or actually, no, not
longshoreman.
Not Quint, but who does Dreyfuss play?
Doesn't he play himself? I'm Richard Dreyfuss.
The character, Mike.
He's not Brody.
No. Why can't I remember his name? Matt. He plays Matt. Hooper. You looked like Hooper. You looked exactly like Hooper. Well, we're about a minute in. We haven't said what we're talking about, but today we're
riffing here.
Yeah, that's true. Today we are talking about that new and first trailer for Star Wars Episode 9.
Sorry, I'm playing with the dog.
The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, and dear listener and viewer, as always, Luna is omnipresent. Right now, she is like right in Mike's lap. She's demanding love and affection.
Yes.
I'll take this time to quickly shout out Faith and Fandom. Wait,
that wasn't a very good plug.
No, that was not. I can't get up. I'm not sitting on a chair. I'm sitting on a bench. Oh boy, nope.
Seems a lot more complicated than it should be.
Faith and Fandom. The always awesome Pastor Hector helped me get this shirt, so thank you, Pastor Hector. And I realized I've been saying your last name wrong for the entire time I've known you. My apologies.
What is it? Gutierrez?
No. It's Mirai, but I've been pronouncing it Mireille.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
I guess because it ends with the Y, I just figure it's an A, like a Mireille, like the A sound. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever works.
The closest thing I can go to tie it to a Star Wars thing is you call him Han, not Han.
Unless you're Lando.
Unless you're Lando, but he's Lando, not Londo. Londo Calrissian. All right, so Mike.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Episode 9 trailer?
Well, took me by surprise. I mean, I knew earlier in the week that it was coming, but I totally forgot. So I was on Reddit, and I just see at the top of the page, Star Wars 9 trailer. I'm like, this isn't real. And I thought, oh no, one was coming. Maybe this is real. No, it's not real. So I click on it, and then I see the Lucasfilm logo. I'm like, this could be fake still, fan made.
Yeah.
And then I see it's new footage of Rey. Like, this is real. I'm pumped. I'm at work. I don't care if I'm watching this full screen. So I just sat there and watched it. And yeah, man. Like, after Last Jedi, I had the same feeling I did after the prequels. Like, I don't really care about Star Wars anymore.
Oh, man.
Well, I remember when the Force Awakens trailer came out. I'm like, I am pumped. I love Star Wars again. It has stirred things up in me. And then after Last Jedi, I had the feeling like, I don't care.
I'm disappointed again.
I think it could be good. I think 9 could be good, but I didn't I didn't have that good feeling in me. But then I saw the trailer yesterday. I'm like, all right, I'm back in.
Yeah. It was so funny because I hadn't heard that the trailer was dropping. And at this point, because online, there's always rumors like, oh, hey, the trailers might be dropping this week. And
like they did that with the Endgame trailer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's coming this week. And then 3 weeks later.
Exactly. So at this point, I'm just like, I take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'll believe a trailer's dropping when I actually see it show up in my feed or on Instagram or something. Or in the case of this, you guys texting me.
Drop everything you're doing and watch the Star Wars trailer right now.
And then it was so funny because I turned my data on, and then all I had was like 18 messages. I'm like, wait, hold. Oh, Mike, you need to see the ball. You need to see. Listener, you can't see. Luna is climbing up Mike to show him the ball. Hi, puppy. Wow, she is desperate for attention.
Starved.
I really liked that trailer, but like you, my guard. Whole time I'm like, don't like it too much.
Yeah.
My guard's up.
You know what happened last time?
Like the last Jedi trailer was an excellent trailer.
Yeah.
And it was not a good movie. And like I said to you earlier, every once in a while I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can rewatch it and dig it for what it is. And then I remember stuff that happens and I just get angry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jen Percy. I was talking to her on the phone last night about the trailer, and she's like, oh yeah, all this stuff. And then I'm like, man, they're having to change stuff that they did in The Last Jedi now, and it's just going to annoy. Like, Luke's lightsaber is back.
Yeah.
And that was a focal point of the movie. Like, it got ripped apart. And it's...
Let the past die.
Yeah.
The lightsaber is dead.
Yeah.
The Skywalkers are dead, except for Kylo Ren. But...
Yeah. So, I did not care. I still don't care for the title. I'm hoping for some context.
Yeah. We'll see what the context is, maybe.
Yeah, the Rise of Skywalker title is... When I heard about it a couple weeks ago, I'm like, that's weak sauce. There's no way that's actually the title. And then sure enough, it's the title. But one interesting thing I noticed, because I watched it again today just to get like fresh stuff in mind for this, was each of the sequel trilogy trailers starts with somebody like heavy breathing.
Yeah, I saw that pointed out on the...
I'm not sure why. But Rey taking on a like advanced looking TIE interceptor looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lando being back, I'm like, he looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah, I was happy when I saw that. Like, it's Lando.
Yeah. I'm still like, my guard's still a little bit up because I'm like, if you just brought him back to kill him off, I'm going to be upset.
I'd be very upset.
Yeah. I was surprised that Leia was in there because I thought they were just, I thought they wouldn't use her again. Like, they're shifting it by, it takes place a full year or two after.
No, they're going to use Force Awakens footage.
Okay.
I don't know what they have, but...
Yeah. I think it was a deliberate thing. Like, it's a first trailer, so you want to get people hype, but there was, like, no Rose in the trailer whatsoever, but she's on the cast.
Yeah, I didn't know if she was in the movie.
Yeah, no, neither did I. I looked it up. I'm like, I'm happy for you, Kelly Marie Tran. I hope this time someone serves your character better.
Yeah.
Because... that poor woman played a terrible character.
She was the new Jar Jar.
I know, and it's through no fault of her own.
No.
Yeah, the Death Star
showing
up. That was a cool shock.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the more I've thought about it, I think it's Endor.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the second Death Star on Endor, and someone made it. I saw a joke online on 9gag, like, the deforestation rates on Endor are insane. I'm like, I'm genuinely curious because that's also a cool way to throw stuff back to the original trilogy, but also add some mystique to it instead of like, here's a bigger Death Star.
Yeah, I was just thinking, we're probably gonna have like the naysayers or whatever you want to call them say, oh, they're copying Jedi again, a second Death Star again. Like, shut up.
I don't think they're going for a Death Star. Like, I think it's...
No, but it is the Death Star.
No, I know. But, I mean, I don't think they're going for, like, a giant... Like, the super weapon's going to be the be-all, end-all thing for it. I think it's... There's something there that they need to get. The music was great. I then realized, like, oh, damn, this is the last Star Wars movie that's ever going to be scored by John Williams. Yeah. And that's sad.
Yeah, well... Supposedly it's the last one in the saga. I mean, there'll be more Star Wars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last one of the Skywalker saga. Yeah. I mean, Rian Johnson's planned trilogy is apparently still happening, which I'm still kind of curious about, just to see, like, all right, what are you going to do that's not going to be The Last Jedi? Because this is what you get to do. You get to build everything, basically. Yeah. You get to do everything from the ground up.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into other stuff, there's one thing we have to talk about from the trailer. I think it's the thing nobody saw coming. Oh. And it's the thing that I think got everybody hype.
The Senate.
The Senate is back. The meme machine himself. Yes. That Palpatine laugh at the end of it was... That's what got me. Like, the whole time my guard was up as I'm watching, I'm like, this looks good, but The Last Jedi was what it was. And then at the end, Palpatine laughed. I was like, what?
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Sheev himself.
Yep. The Senate.
The Senate.
The star of many internet memes.
Yeah. Well, was it Tommy or I think it was Tommy? He thought that was just Mark Hamill doing his Joker laugh.
Yeah.
Shut up. No,
it's not.
The guy at work said that too. I said, "What about the ending to him?" Because they told him about the trailer. I said, "What did you think about the ending?" He's like, "Oh, that was just Mark Hamill laughing." No, it was not.
That was not. That didn't even. To me, that doesn't sound like Hamill's Joker laugh.
That was a distinctive Sheev laugh.
Well, and then I've seen some GIFs, not some videos, but from Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Ian McDermott showed up after the trailer as everybody's losing their mind, and then he's like, "Roll it back." Roll it again. Yeah. Oh, hi, puppy. Yeah, you must give kisses on camera. Hi.
Kisses on camera.
Oh, Loons. Today's podcast is guest starring Luna.
Yes.
I think this is the most vocal she's ever gotten on. Just right up in my grill, she was right up in the microphone.
She was.
Yep.
The grill of the microphone.
The grill of the microphone. So that's a really interesting thing that I did not see coming, because that's not even something George Lucas had planned. Because to him, the expanded universe went on, and he was like, "No, the Emperor's dead. Jedi is where it wrapped." Even though at one point he had before Return of the Jedi became Return of the Jedi, the Emperor wasn't going to show up till episode 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But he changed up Jedi to the Ewoks and Leia being Luke's sister and all that. Yeah. And then he's like, "No, the Emperor's dead. Vader's dead. Yeah. There were no clones, nothing from the EU." And then him showing up, he's just like, "What the crap?" Way out of left field.
Yeah.
But in an interesting way.
Yes, is some dark side fiendishness going on?
Yeah. Is he going to somehow reveal I've been alive the whole time?
His essence, his
essence he again behind the scenes pulling even friggin' Snoke. Yeah, I almost forgot his name because the Last Jedi said, "Guess what? This guy's so irrelevant." Friggin' movie. Just a wreck.
You know after I saw the trailer the first time, I said, "This one's going to set up so much and make us like it so much."
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's being a little forward thinking, let's say, but hopeful, optimistic.
Yeah.
It's going to set up so much, and we're going to prefer this to Last Jedi. Let's say that we're going to wish this was the middle episode, and there's going to be another one.
Well, that's the thing. I think with this one, at this point, it's almost like they're just trying to stick the landing.
Yeah.
Because even though the Force Awakens reignited that love, that childhood love, Star Wars is awesome again.
I remember freaking out when I saw the Force Awakens trailer because I thought this was over. I thought the Empire was gone.
And then
we're back.
And then Chewie really. Were home shot, and then all that stuff. The first time you see the Falcon in it, it's just all these great moments. But then at the end of the day, you're like, this was A New Hope.
I remember having so many questions.
I know.
After seeing the trailer, Luke's back. What's he doing? What's he been doing all this time? How is the Empire back?
Yeah.
How is this happening?
And none of them got answered in the movies.
Well, yeah, and then there was the cliffhanger at the end of Force Awakens.
And then it's just Chuck.
I was waiting,
a year. 2 years. 2 years, yeah. 2 years now.
To see Luke get all emotional seeing his lightsaber again.
Exactly. Because the last time he saw it, his hand was attached to it and it was falling.
I wanted him to be living with his failure through. He kind of did in the movie, but in a sadder way. I want him to be "No, I failed. I can never go back. I can never teach someone again.
Yeah.
Look what happened when I tried."
Yeah.
Just be a wreck of a Jedi, wreck of a man.
Yeah.
But he was just sour.
I did like curmudgeon-y Luke though. I liked Luke's.
That was okay, but
I liked Luke's story in the movie. But again, my disappointment was he went on a journey. He's the character that actually had a journey in that movie because everybody else just leveled up, and then other characters were your past don't matter. And these other characters that we've hyped up that have said they're the big bad, guess what? They don't matter. And nothing changed in The Last Jedi.
nothing. The story was not moved forward.
No, it just
maybe by a couple inches.
No, exactly. It's just like, okay, now Rey's the main person, which we kind of got the feeling of at the end of The Force Awakens, and then Kylo Ren's now the big bad, and before you were like, he's going to be.
Everyone was thinking that they're going to switch places. Like,
I know
Rey was going to be the bad girl.
I was actually talking to. When I was talking to Jen last night, she's just like, I don't like how whiny Kylo is. I'm just like, he is what, and not to knock on Hayden Christensen more, but he is what Anakin was before Anakin killed the younglings.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's just like, you're just so whiny when you're in the dark side mood. Yeah. And then he murdered children and was terrifying. Oh, that shouldn't be as funny as it is.
Well, on the topic of Anakin and Hayden Christensen, I'm hoping he comes back finally. I thought he might come back for Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But this is his last chance.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he comes back, and fingers crossed, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
We haven't seen him in 8 movies.
No. We've got a couple voice appearances on the Clone Wars, which were awesome, but it's not the same.
Well, yeah, for a long time people were saying, and it was canonically true, that Qui-Gon Jinn couldn't come back as a ghost because he hadn't learned.
Yeah,
but
he had figured out
that in the Clone Wars, right?
Well, they had figured out. They were actually going to do that. He was the one who learned how to be the ghost.
Yeah. He told.
But then he told Yoda. Yeah. But then the only reason he didn't show up was because he had the motorcycle accident.
Oh. Okay.
Before Revenge of the Sith, so then they just cut the scene, and then in the Clone Wars they did the thing where he had been learning, he hadn't figured out how to do the body part, but he could speak. He could still speak, so that part was really cool because then that explained like his voice showing up for 2 seconds in Attack of the Clones and earlier episodes of the Clone Wars, which great show. Why is my boot out and on the floor?
Well, sometimes boots do that.
All right, before we get too much down the Last Jedi rabbit hole, because I feel like that's where this goes.
We're all over the place.
It's true. I do have high hopes for the movie. I'm like, all right, if you stick the landing on this, then I feel like this trilogy, even more than the prequel trilogy, represents like missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because there's no way, and you can even see in stuff that's showing up in this trailer, and I feel like it's definitely going to show up in the movie, because they didn't plan all 3 stories in a row to connect. They
should have.
They had a
story group.
They had a story group,
this is the story for the 3.
But there's no way that the stuff that JJ did in The Force Awakens, he was like, I would have done what Ryan did in The Last Jedi. Like, there's no way he would have put that, like, the mystery around Snoke and Rey's parentage and how Moss got the lightsaber. It's like, no, this is Star Wars 101. We're introducing this mystery to reveal later.
Yes.
And then for the guy to go in and be like, none of it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's where you can see throughout this whole trilogy there was no plan. There was no plan. It was just like, okay, we're just going to do each one. And I feel like this one, you're still going to run into that. I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle for me.
Yeah, there's going to be some retconning.
Yeah, because they're going
to some stuff that they just miss.
They're just going to be undoing from the last one. So, but as long as it can get past that and still be or they do it well enough where it's just like, all right, cool. And then I want it to be good. Palpatine showing back up got me legit the most hype out of anything, because I did not see that coming. No one.
I remember JJ saying when he was writing 9 that it's going to tie the whole saga together.
Yeah.
So, that's one little piece.
Yeah.
Right? If Anakin comes back, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
If Anakin comes back, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then people are going to be screaming, fan service. Shut up.
Okay.
What do you want? Do you want Last Jedi, or do you want to enjoy the movie?
And there's nothing wrong with fan service when it's done well.
Yeah.
An example of friggin' amazing fan service is the Darth Vader Rogue One hallway scene.
Yeah.
If you actually complain about that, there's something wrong with you. That was fan service done right. Yes. It was awesome. It was fantastic. It wasn't just like, oh, here you go, even though where you have no understanding or context. It's just like, this might make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it was great.
Yeah. Lando showing up and laughing, I was like, oh man, I've missed Lando. And it was nice to see him be in the piloting the Millennium Falcon, not in Han Solo's clothes.
Yeah. He got his ship back. So.
He got his ship back.
And his own clothes.
And his own clothes.
He went shopping.
I don't think he's in the movie very much, but as long as he doesn't get killed, I'll be happy. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I remember the feeling after that movie. Like, the credits came up and it's just like, nah.
I tried to find things I liked about it.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, I was like, okay. No, and at the time, I'd say a lot, like I said on the podcast when I reviewed it by myself, and then when I reviewed it with Steve, like, I respected that, because when you see too many movies or you study trailers or basically anything we do, because we watch way too many movies, like, you get the idea of the general structure, you can figure out where it's going.
Yeah.
So I can respect when a movie keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
But that was my main compliment to it. It's like, well, I kept going left when I think was going right.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, I'm like, all you've just done is zigzagged over, and there's no story to that.
No.
It's just...
It's a mess now. It really is.
Yeah, no, it's...
We thought we were going somewhere. We went back.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that this one will land, because I've been thinking about it, and you and I were even just talking, like, Avengers Endgame is rumored to have like $1 billion opening weekend.
Yeah.
And that's even bigger than Star Wars numbers.
It's going to make all the money.
Like,
all the money.
It will make
everyone and his brother is
all the money. Unborn children are going to see that movie. But then I was just like, man, I remember when, like, and it happened as recently as the Last Jedi did make bank. It did do really well. It didn't do the Force Awakens numbers, but the Force Awakens made a ton of cash.
Yeah.
But then it's like been slowly less, like still good money, but like slowly less. Rogue One did a lot of money, but I think less than the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Last Jedi did a tremendous amount of money, but I think less than the Force Awakens. And Solo's documented as a disappointment.
Yes. Well, they spent a lot of money on that movie too.
Yeah,
they shot it twice.
They did, and it's a fun movie. It gets thrown under the bus a lot.
I like that it was setting up a trilogy of solo movies.
Not Han Solo movies. Yeah, where it's like Darth Maul's the tie across all three.
It would have been Solo, Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, yeah.
It would have been a cool trilogy.
Yeah.
And
it would have been...
Maul would have been the thread through all of it.
Exactly. I think as much as... And that might be dead in the water, because right now they're just like, we're revisiting how we're doing them.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's not bad. Maybe just slow down a little bit. So instead of one a year, it's maybe one every 2 years or one every 3. And then you do your main saga films like every 3 friggin' years.
Yeah.
So then you only get 2 years where they're like back to back or something, but then you get at least a 2-year break.
Yeah. Well, hopefully with Disney Plus they can do some stuff.
Yeah,
they're doing The Mandalorian.
They're doing The Mandalorian.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cameos in that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's going to be... Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see what they do. I've seen some really good Star Wars stuff online where I'm like... Recently where I had no idea I wanted Star Wars like that. Yeah. There was an animated short called TIE Fighter. I think it's like 12 minutes or something, or 7 to 12 minutes. And it's like done in old Japanese anime style, like animation. And it's just wonderful. And then someone did like an 80s Japanese anime style trailer over A New Hope. Yeah. And the animation's terrific. I'm like, if you did the full movie like that, I would watch all these movies all over again, because that medium, because there hasn't been like, yes, there's been the Clone Wars, but outside of like the micro series Clone Wars, there hasn't been like a Star Wars cartoon.
Yeah, that was a good series too.
It was.
Clone Wars series. Yeah.
Yeah, but look those up. The animation's tremendous. I'm like, if you told me main movies were taking a break, and Star Wars was moving to this, as long as the quality's there, I'm buying this in a heartbeat. Because right now, that like whoever animated those did an amazing job, and I love the original trilogy. I will revisit it in almost if you give it in almost any medium, I'll probably revisit it, and give it to me like that. It's friggin' awesome. Dear listener and viewer, I also want to plug, and I'll put a link to it in the description. Mike and I have been talking about like reception to the current trilogy in Star Wars as a whole. There is a great, I believe, 40 to 45 minute fan documentary on YouTube, and I'll link to the guy's channel called Star Wars: The Fans versus Disney, and it's really interesting. It's in some aspects better than the People versus George Lucas.
I was just going to mention
because people don't get as personal as they did in that one. Nobody accuses anybody of doing anything horrific to their childhood. But it's really interesting because what the guy does is he's looking at all things Star Wars since the announcement of the sale to Disney, and he does it like as a timeline. So it was really cool because the guy seems to keep his opinion out, and he shows both the happy reactions and the negative reactions. So it's like that. It's a really good representation of what's become the huge divide in the fan base. So check it out. If you got an hour to kill, it's well worth watching. It's very, very interesting.
Coolio.
Gangster's Paradise. So I guess, Mike, before we wrap this up,
We're wrapping? Okay.
Well,
we're done.
Yeah, no. At this point, I'm like, we're circling. What do you want? Like, what would you want out of Star Wars? Because it's in a very different place than it was when it came back in 2014.
All I ever ask for, really, is a really cool lightsaber battle. And mythology. I love mythology.
Yeah.
The mythology of the story.
And that's something that like you've pointed out a couple times on here, and when we've talked, like, say what you will about the prequels, but they built on the mythology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, I like lore.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the Marvel movies too, is that there's a universe and like there's little details that don't matter, but they're there and they tie it into the rest.
Yeah.
Makes it real.
Yeah.
In a way.
As real as
it
a Marvel movie can be.
You know what I mean. Like it makes it seem like it's an actual universe.
Yeah.
That it's aware of itself, but not in like a cheesy way. I don't know how else to put it.
Not in the self-aware like trope way.
Yeah. Like it's a lore.
Yeah.
Let's just go lore building, world building.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Something Tolkien was a master of with
his descriptions of the soft winds
through the Hobbit's foot hair, but the Legendarium is a great example of like there's so much lore there, and that's why I'm excited about that Prime show. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I would like outside of doing stuff in that like anime cartoon style because the animation was beautiful. And just like doing all the movies just in that style because it'd be amazing. I would love good stuff, but like I don't know. As I love the Skywalker story, but I'd love to see with the Disney Plus thing. You've got like you could do it as a cartoon, you could do it as a cartoon style of Clone Wars, or even just a mini series, or even just a web. Like a movie on your streaming service, something from a different era. Like the old expanded universe had two, in my opinion, great eras that you could mine from. You had like Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic era, which was still like it's Star Wars. Stories are cyclical. Like it's always like the Sith are back and the Jedi are almost extinct. Like that. It beats. It just happens. That's how it rolls. But it was still like a different era, so there was still like people using swords for fighting, even though the Jedi had lightsabers and all that. It was the Knights of the Old Republic, that first game, and even the second game, which expanded upon the lore greatly. I never played the Old Republic because MMOs aren't MMORPGs aren't really my bag. But you can that's why I love Wikipedia explaining all this stuff, because those added to the lore and the cinematics from it. You get some gangster lightsaber fights in there. But do it like that, like even in that kind of animation. But like a show like that or something, or a movie just set in that era, or the last of the Dark Horse comics, I think was called like the Legacy. I think so, Legacy or something. But it was like Luke's great, like a descendant of Luke, like Cade Skywalker. I've mentioned him to you before, and it takes place like 130 or 150 years later, and now the Sith are ruling everything again. But it's a guy who was like the antithesis of Palpatine, who's like, the rule of two is stupid. Like, I rule, but I've got a bunch of apprentices, and they all look pretty awesome, and it's cool to see what happens, because it's far enough removed that you don't have to explain like how we got there. And that's the beef I had with The Force Awakens and the current trilogy of it's 30 years later, how are we back to A New Hope?
I thought
there's no explanation.
I thought there'd be at least something in the opening crawl, but no.
No, it's just like, no, we're here, it's the Empire and the Rebellion again, just with new names and slightly different armor.
Well, they said if you want to know why, read the books and the comics we're putting out. No, you tell me. I'm watching the movie.
Exactly.
This is a movie universe.
And as much as I like reading books and comics, at the same point, it's like, no, you're the movie. This is your job.
I've said this before on your podcast. The movie is the primary medium. Everything should be there. Everything we need should be there. The little tidbits that are interesting or kind of side stories should be in the books and the other media.
Well, and the other media can flesh out stuff that you can't necessarily flesh out anymore.
But like it's not necessary to the story.
No, like the ongoing Vader comic, both of them. The first one was amazing, and the current the current one is really good too. But it's like you're not gonna do a movie set like right after Revenge of the Sith. You can't. James Earl Jones, as awesome as it is that he still voices Vader, there's a notable difference now.
He's gotten old. In voice and everything else.
You hear it in the Mufasa lines in the new Lion King trailer.
Well, I remember when I saw Rogue One, like, why does Vader sound so old?
And then you're like, oh wait, James Earl Jones ages. Yes. Unlike Patrick Stewart.
I didn't realize that voices age so much.
Yeah, they do. But I'd like to see just something in taking some stuff from the EU that, like, there was some stuff that's dumb. There was some stuff that's really cool, and there was one long arc in the books that ended up like some people hated, a lot of people loved. I'm like, we're at its welcome, but it was different enough from the normal things you got in Star Wars with like the Yuzong Vong, whatever, like these aliens from outside the galaxy that aren't really susceptible to the Force. I'm like, that's interesting, because the Force is always like the trump card. Like, I got the Force. Ta-da! And then it's like, oh, dang, my trump card don't work. Like, my Uno reverse card doesn't.
I cannot get out of jail for free.
I can't get out of jail. It doesn't work in this situation. Or whatever you do in Mousetrap to avoid the thing coming down on you.
Can you?
I maybe. I liked that game, but it always took way too long to set up. Like, I'd like to see something like that eventually done, just because it's fun. Yes, the Force and the Jedi and the Sith are awesome, but it's still nice to see, like, this is a wider galaxy. Rogue One actually probably had the best representation of it, and that tail end of Solo, where it's the idea of, like, outside of the Jedi and Sith. Like, the idea that the rebels did shady things and were borderline terrorists in some aspect, where you never looked at that in the original trilogy or even the sequel trilogy, because they're the good guys. What they're doing is good.
Now there's more gray area.
I'd like to see that kind of thing. So
I think we'll see some of that in the Cassian Andor series. That'd be neat.
Which is surprising, just because I didn't think I'd see any of the characters from Rogue One again.
Because they're dead.
They're dead. Which, again, credit to Garrett Edwards and the whole team. Like, when I heard about Rogue One and I heard what the story was going to be, I'm like, that's going to be a tough sell. Like, why are we going to care about any of these characters?
They're all dead.
They're clearly all dead because they didn't show up anywhere else.
Unless they were somewhere else.
And if they're this pivotal, they're not going to be like... We're going to look at it like, oh, this is lame continuity, to be like, oh, they were off over here.
Yeah, they were out getting coffee.
I mean, like, at least... Say what you will about Captain Marvel, but at least even in that latest Avengers trailer, or there was a spot where it's like, where were you, by the way? And then she's like, there are other planets that didn't have you guys. That's the explanation you need. Yeah. But in Star Wars, it's different. Yeah. So you knew all those characters would die, and they made you care. They made you care about the characters. Mm-hmm. Good job. I hope Gareth Edwards does another Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I like him, but supposedly he's not very good at what he does, but he just takes the credit for it.
Really?
Like, yeah, like on he did Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I think someone took over for him there. I forget his name now. Terry Gilroy? No, that was on Rogue One, I think.
Yeah, because they did a lot of reshoots for Rogue One.
Where, like, all the good stuff, that wasn't him.
Oh, wow, okay.
I can't say definitively.
First I've heard of it.
But I've heard that he is not as good as we may think he is.
Oh, okay.
But I like him.
Yeah, no. Out of the two, I think he's done 3 movies. Maybe he's done another since Godzilla.
Monsters, Godzilla, and Rogue One as well, ones I know.
I've seen 2 out of those 3. I haven't seen Monsters yet. It's come heavily recommended, but you're saying it's all right. Yeah,
it shows it's low budget.
Yeah, that's fair. The next Godzilla movie looks amazing, but that's not this podcast.
Yes, it is not.
Nope. All right, well, Mike, thanks for coming and sharing your thoughts.
Glad to be here.
And we'll definitely review.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll definitely review episode 9 once it comes out.
Yep.
I want good Star Wars. That's what I want. It's like my first cinema love.
Yeah. You ask me what I want out of this? I want the redemption of Hayden Christensen. I know
yes.
I know he can be good.
No, and that's the before we go, I feel bad for the guy because at points, yes, his performance is bad, but also it's not to throw all the blame on George Lucas or make it personal, but I think a lot of that can go towards the director. Like, Natalie Portman is a terrific actress, and her performances were not good in those movies, especially Revenge of the Sith. And there's points where Hayden is tremendous.
You did not believe that Anakin was breaking her heart?
That line is supposed to make people upset, and I burst out laughing every single time.
It was...
Like, I remember, I think I saw it with you when we both lost it. I saw it with my youth pastor, and I knew it was coming, so it's just like, it's supposed to be this tension thing, and I'm like...
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I'm like, nothing. And then when she says it, like, I lose it, and then he lost it. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or the "You're so beautiful" when she, the makeup and lighting was just terrible. It's not her fault.
It's only because I'm so in love.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But, like, there was points where people bag on the whole, like, I hate them, like, the Sand People scene. No. I'm like, nah, he was really good in that.
That's good.
And at points he, like, not as the insult or joke that I made it at times, but I found him best when he wasn't saying anything. Like, when he was just standing, like, emotionally acting, like, not actually saying anything.
Yeah.
Like, his face has so much expression. Yes. His eyes have so much expression.
He didn't have to say dialogue.
Yeah.
He was doing fine.
He was tremendous. Yeah. He was no Ewan McGregor, but nobody is.
Nobody's.
Yeah, no. No. That's also what I want. Ewan McGregor back. Just give me Ewan McGregor once more as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That raises the question: why does Obi-Wan look like Ewan McGregor as a ghost when he looked like Alec Guinness at the end of Return of the Jedi?
Wait, what? Why does
Obi-Wan look like Ewan McGregor? He comes back as a Force ghost.
He doesn't come back as Ewan never came back as a Force
ghost.
Oh, if he does. Yeah, no, that's the. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it. Maybe they won't do the Force Ghost with Obi-Wan. Just give us an Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah.
Is what I mean.
Between 3 and 4.
Yeah, between 3 and 4.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like, make it a Western. A lot of people say make it a Western.
Yeah.
Or like a Tatooine and...
You could do something where he's got to go off planet. Like...
No, he can't leave town. He has to look after Luke.
But it's got to be... But they could do something where it's big enough where it's like, okay, I can dip for like a week. Like, Luke's just... Baru is changing his diapers. I'm not needed right now. Like,
you got this?
You got this? It's like, where'd you come from?
I'm always here. Hello there.
We don't like you. Owen chews you out. There actually, in a recent comic, there's a great panel where Obi-Wan shows up to like try to offer help, and Owen's like, you got his dad killed.
Yeah.
Like, everything you do is bad.
Does Owen know what happened with Anakin?
I'm not sure. It's kind of hinted at. Like, he's a bit aware, but maybe not. Or maybe there's just bitterness at, like, hey, he went off with you and he's dead.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... Because there's that lunch or whatever, that meal scene in A New Hope.
Yeah.
Where it's clear that Owen doesn't like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And he mentions his father, mentions Anakin. But what does Uncle Ben know?
See, and that'd be...
Uncle Owen, not Uncle Ben.
Yeah, not Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben knows nothing. He's dead.
He's dead. Well, he knows with great power
comes great blah, blah, blah.
Uncle Ben.
And he knows rice. He knows how to make 5-minute rice.
Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima.
There's a crossover. Yeah, no, and actually, that'd be something interesting. If you did... Like, imagine doing a brief episode or a comic or something where Owen and Baru know.
Yeah. Like,
something that big, and they got to sit on it.
I kind of feel like they do know, or they wouldn't be so against Luke going off. Because they know what happened to his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be curious, because with the Jedi, it's like, okay, we can't go forward, but then it's like... They know Vader. They know Palpatine. They know what they did. They know the whole overthrow thing, and they just gotta squash that.
Yeah. You know, I imagine when Obi-Wan was dropping off Luke at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he kind of explained what went down.
Yeah.
And said, I'm going to be hanging around to look after Luke for the rest of, or until he's grown. And maybe he said, I'll be back to train him. I don't know. Maybe he left that part out.
Yeah.
But... had to be a conversation there.
And it would have been interesting to see, just because at the end, you don't hear anything, but at the end of the Revenge of the Sith, it just seems like, everything's all right between them.
Yeah, they seem cool.
They seem, at least amicable.
Yeah.
And then when you get to New Hope, and then also in these comics, and then even in earlier former Expanded Universe comics, there was this tension.
Yeah, something happened.
What happened? Like, that's what I'm curious about. Did he... I would have gone with, like, did he break the former translator droid? Like, they seem strapped for cash. Did he accidentally set fire to the crops?
He stepped on Owen's foot one day.
Owen just does not let things go.
I like my foot.
My father lost his foot.
He did.
You're not taking this from me, Obi-Wan. I think we're writing this story.
I think like Obi-Wan must have put Luke in danger at some point,
right?
Or I don't know.
And that's
got to be something like that.
Oh, hello, Luna.
Hello.
Kisses.
Oh boy.
Kisses to Mike.
Right, I love that.
All right, Luna, get down. We're almost done, baby. All right, well, I think that's a good place. Dear listener and viewer, thank you for listening, especially as we wrapped up like 5 minutes ago and then kept going.
Well, we kept going.
Yeah, I know, it's fun.
We had an encore.
We are professionals.
Just punched me in the ribs.
All right.
Okay.
All right, down, puppy, down. You are sweet. You are very sweet. Well, Mike, thanks for being here. Thanks for letting Luna maul you briefly.
That's fine.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. James Bond.
Oh, all right. Last final side
we're
story.
Back again.
I started following Ray Park on Instagram, and it's got to be the only reason. I can't think of any other reason why. But the guy who played Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat movies started following me on Instagram. Wow. Like 2 minutes after I followed Ray Park, I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
I know. All right. On that happy note, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Check out the fan documentary I'll attach in the bio. And God bless, my friends. Take care.
Bye.
Peace. boop, boop, ba-do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do.